What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the July 31st, 2021 edition of Talking Smack. If you haven't already checked out my complete audio review from SmackDown from yesterday for July 30th, 2021, as well as my live stream breaking down the Bray Wyatt release from Saturday afternoon, which shocked the entire wrestling world, yours truly included, which I talked about for over an hour, the release, what's next, the downfall creatively of Bray Wyatt in WWE, and so much more. But like I said, today we're talking about Talking Smack, and unfortunately they are in the studio setting seemingly permanently. This was the third straight week where they were back in the studio. The first week was hosted by Kevin Patrick, and he was joined by Matt Camp. Now, I think Matt Camp is on every episode, and then Raw Talk is with Matt Camp and Kayla Braxton, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. The episodes are so forgettable now, it's hard to remember. But now, I think moving forward here on Talking Smack is Matt Camp in the host seat, as well as Peter Rosenberg as the analyst. Not a big Peter Rosenberg fan personally, but he will be on the show seemingly in a permanent position going forward. So it's been the same formula for the last few weeks. This was no different. They recapped the John Cena contract signing where he signed the contract instead of Finn Balor to face Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. And I'd gotten how dumb that was in my SmackDown audio review from yesterday, so check that out if you haven't already. Like I said, cheap plug. They also recapped the six-man tag team match that saw Big E, Cesaro, and King Nakamura knock off the Intercontinental Champion Apollo Crews, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode. And they also recap the main event of Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair knocking off Zelina Vega and Carmella in tag team action. The first person they talk to is Rey and Dominik Mysterio after they recap Rey's win over Jimmy Uso on SmackDown and how the Mysterios are learning after losing to the Usos so much. They're finally learning how to kind of get back to their winning ways. So when Kayla Braxton is interviewing them at the show or backstage or whatever, Rey's eating a protein donut during the interview, which is hilarious, which they acknowledge too, and that's the only reason why I know that. But Rey says that he told Dominik going into last night's SmackDown, or Friday SmackDown, that he needed to step his game up. Dominik lost to Jimmy Uso the week before on SmackDown. They lost the tag team titles to the Usos at Money in the Bank. He needed to step up his game, I guess by cheating. I guess that's the father's advice. And he said they needed that win, and I agree, and they got that win. Dominik feels that they're back on track, and they also acknowledge how SummerSlam coming up marks 1 year, well, technically 16 years since Dominik was first involved in a WWE storyline at SummerSlam 2005. But it's 1 year, not to the day, but to the weekend, that Dominik made his in-ring debut for WWE. And they want to get back their SmackDown Tag Team titles, and it would be a pretty sweet moment for him to do so at SummerSlam itself. Peter Rosenberg talks about how he feels Rey Mysterio has been reinvigorated because of Dominik lately. They also recap Sasha's return to SmackDown on Friday, kind of going off what they mentioned earlier. They interview Zelina Vega backstage at SmackDown, and she specifically points out that it was Carmella who lost in the main event of SmackDown and not Zelina. Carmella tapped out, not Zelina. And Bianca, before Sasha came out to make the save, Bianca agreed to defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against Zelina Vega. So Zelina mentioned that here. Matt Camp mentions that later on. I don't know if they're going to go back to that because they haven't made Bianca and Belair official yet. They haven't made Bianca and Sasha official yet for SummerSlam. So they could do Bianca and Zelina before then. Hopefully not for the title. She's done absolutely nothing to deserve it. Zelina has not won a single match since coming back to SmackDown in early July. Why the fuck would they give her a title shot? You know what I mean? I think it would just be stupid. They could do the match on SmackDown, but Zelina does not. I mean, they could do a championship contenders match or whatever the fuck they call it, but there's no reason for Zelina to get a title shot at this point. They also recap Sasha Banks attacking Bianca Belair earlier in the show, and Zelina she didn't really say anything of note. She just kind of said that she wants her championship match, and that was about it. But they recap Sasha attacking Bianca Belair after the SmackDown main event. And Matt Camp brings up how, Sasha and Bianca both won an ESPY for the WrestleMania main event back in April. But Sasha doesn't like sharing the spotlight specifically for an award that she won for a match that she lost. They also recap the six-man tag team match, and they interview King Nakamura, who says that he looks great in gold after Kayla asks about him potentially challenging for the Intercontinental Championship. And Rick Boog says that he has Commander Aziz, he's got him all set. Don't worry about Aziz. Don't focus on Aziz. I'll take care of Aziz. Rick Beziz, or whatever the fuck he says his name is, will take care of Aziz. And that was really it. They replayed the interaction that Paul Heyman had backstage, with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. They replay that quick interaction. For what reason, I don't know, but just to reiterate that Roman and John Cena is official for SummerSlam, even though Paul Heyman was 100% right with what he said to Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville backstage. That just tells me that they're incompetent at their job. Peter Rosenberg thinks that mind games are just beginning. The mind games are just starting up with Roman Reigns and John Cena, and there is more to come on that front. So, that was Talking Smack in a nutshell. Really nothing of note whatsoever. The Zelina Vega interview was pointless. The Nakamura interview kind of gave us a hint that we're headed towards Cruz and Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship, but nothing of note said there either. And the Mysterios talked for the longest, and it really wasn't anything new. So, again, the tired same formula for Talking Smack has been completely boring so far, and the show is still very, very, very missable. So, nothing new on that front, I suppose. Thanks, guys, for tuning into my review of Talking Smack for July 31st, 2021. I appreciate it. Be sure to like this video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content, including hitting the bell button to be notified every time a new video goes up. Check out more Talking Smack reviews in the description box down below, and we'll be back next Sunday with yet another review of Talking Smack. Until then, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy the month of August. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.